Everything is about to crack wide open at Cousins Beach. The volleyball court may be the setting, but it's the hearts of everyone involved that are really on the line. One confession, one betrayal, and one decision might change Belly's entire future. And if what we've seen in the buildup is any clue, then this isn't just another summer. This is the summer she finally chooses and loses. The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3. Episode 6 picks up where tension left off, thick in the air, hiding behind every smile and glance. Cousins Beach is hosting its traditional annual volleyball fundraiser, a cheerful community event on the surface, but underneath it, everything is quietly unraveling. Belly has her eyes set on winning this time, not just the game, but control of her life, her feelings, her future. She recruits Taylor as her partner, but in a surprising twist, Taylor fakes an injury. Why? To give Jeremiah a spot on the team. And just like that, the cracks begin to show. What seemed like friendly support turns into quiet betrayal. Belly doesn't say it out loud, but her face says it all. She feels blindsided, not just by Taylor's move, but by the realization that she's being managed, handled by the people closest to her. Taylor's decision feels less like help and more like interference. The girl who was supposed to have her back has instead pushed someone else in without asking what Belly actually wanted. The volleyball match now feels less like a fun distraction and more like an emotional minefield. As Belly steps onto the sand, the game becomes a metaphor for everything that's been building inside her. Her fractured engagement, her tangled loyalties, and the pressure to smile through it all. Her every move is being watched. Every point, every pass, every glance across the net becomes charged with meaning. This isn't just about scoring anymore, it's about proving something. But to who? To herself? To Jeremiah? Or to the version of herself she thought she was supposed to be? Meanwhile, Jeremiah is trying to act like everything is fine. He's smiling, joking, high-fiving other players, but inside, something is simmering. His father may have thrown his full support behind him, but that only adds to the pressure. Every moment on the court with Belly feels like a performance, one that he's not sure is working. He senses her distance. She's here, but not really with him. Her body's moving, but her heart is elsewhere. And he knows exactly where that elsewhere is. On a boat, with Cleveland, with Conrad. And Conrad? He's physically away from the chaos of the fundraiser, but emotionally, he's at the heart of it. In a moment captured in previews, he's seen breaking down out on the water, and it's more than just a sudden wave of emotion. It's the floodgates bursting. Years of buried grief over his mom, promises left unfulfilled, words never spoken, all crashing down. In that moment, he's not the composed, mysterious Conrad we've known. He's raw, human, and falling apart. And this vulnerability may finally pull the curtain back for Belly. It's the side of him she's always sensed was there, hidden behind the walls he built. And maybe, just maybe, it's the side that could change everything. Back at the fundraiser, as the volleyball tournament heats up, so do the emotional stakes. Taylor, watching from the sidelines, tries to cheer on her friends. But the smile doesn't reach her eyes. She knows what she did. And deep down, she fears that she's just shifted the balance in a way that can't be undone. Her loyalty to Belly is now tangled up with her desire to help Jeremiah. And that crossfire could end up costing her both relationships. The camera might not be on her, but her absence on the court speaks volumes. The symbolism is everywhere, subtle but powerful. Belly may be wearing her bridal shower dress, or maybe just the ring that still feels foreign on her finger, a silent reminder of the commitment she's supposed to be celebrating. But it doesn't feel like celebration, it feels like confusion. The image of her standing on a beach court, surrounded by people but emotionally isolated, paints a clear picture. She's not sure who she's playing for anymore. Every moment of this episode so far has been layered. Fun on the surface, but underneath, regret, fear, longing, and the slow realization that nothing is as simple as it once seemed. The volleyball match is more than just a game. It's a battleground of unspoken truths, unhealed wounds, and unmade choices. Belly is standing in the middle of it all, trying to win a game that has no clear rules, no clear sides, and no guaranteed victory. As the sun climbs higher over Cousins Beach and the volleyball fundraiser pushes on, so do the emotional undercurrents that none of the players seem able to escape. Every serve and volley is masking deeper truths, because what's happening on the sand isn't just a game, it's a reflection of everything simmering under the surface for Belly, Jeremiah, Taylor, and even those who aren't physically present. The game is loud, but the silences in between, those quick glances, half smiles, and lingering pauses, are speaking louder than words ever could. Jeremiah may be playing his heart out beside Belly, but he knows something is wrong. Not with the game, but with her. She's focused, determined, almost robotic in her moves, but he can tell she's not playing for fun anymore. She's playing to escape. She laughs when she's supposed to, she claps when she should, but it's not real, and Jeremiah sees it. That's what hurts him the most. Not that she's distant, but that she's pretending she's not. In that moment, his greatest fear begins to quietly take root. He's losing her, and he doesn't even know when it started. Maybe it was back when she said yes to the engagement without full certainty. Or maybe it started even earlier, in the shadow of the one name they both avoid saying out loud, Conrad. And while Jeremiah is wrestling with silent heartbreak, Taylor is feeling her own strain growing minute by minute. From the outside, it looks like she's done Belly a favor, letting Jeremiah join the team, stepping aside, being the supportive friend. But inside, guilt is gnawing at her. She didn't ask Belly how she felt about it. She didn't check in. She made a decision that felt right at the time but now feels like a betrayal, and she knows it. Her loyalty is divided in a way she never expected. Between supporting Jeremiah, who's trying so hard to keep his place in Belly's life, and being there for Belly, who's quietly slipping into confusion, Taylor has placed herself in a position where no move feels right anymore. And as she watches them play, she starts to feel like a stranger in her own friendship. But Taylor's guilt isn't the only thing weighing her down. The unresolved tension between her and Steven is starting to grow again, like a wound that keeps reopening. Episode 5 left that thread hanging. His quiet resentment, her emotional walls, the way they both keep circling back to each other and then pulling away. And now, at this public event, surrounded by noise and people, it's clearer than ever that their story isn't finished. Whether it ends in healing or more heartbreak, the uncertainty lingers. And as Taylor tries to keep her focus on Belly, Steven might be planning to say something he's been holding back for too long. Or worse, he might say nothing at all and let the silence do the damage. In Elsewhere, away from the crowd and the noise, Conrad's emotional spiral is reaching its breaking point. Out on the water with Cleveland, his usual armor is falling apart. The guilt of never truly expressing what his mother meant to him, the burden of always being the strong one, the silent one, the one who walks away instead of confronting, it's all catching up to him. The waves around the boat mirror the storm inside him, and in that isolated space, he might finally speak the truth he's been burying for years, not just about his grief, but about Belly, about how he let her go, not because he stopped loving her, but because he thought she deserved something easier, something safer, someone like Jeremiah. And back on land, that emotional thread is subtly pulling at Belly, even if she doesn't fully understand it yet. She can feel it, like a string stretched tight between her heart and somewhere out there on the water. It's the reason she feels off balance during the game, the reason her laughs feel forced and her movements lack their usual rhythm. Because even though she's standing beside Jeremiah, her thoughts keep drifting. To the moments she shared with Conrad, to the way he used to look at her, to the parts of him she never fully understood. There's a part of her that misses something she can't name. And in that confusion, she starts to question everything. The engagement, the path she's on, the idea of choosing between two brothers when maybe what she really needs is time to choose herself. And if that emotional weight wasn't enough, something happens during the match that shifts everything again. Maybe it's a careless comment from a spectator, or a moment where Belly accidentally brushes against Jeremiah and quickly pulls away. Whatever it is, it's small but sharp. A reminder that no matter how perfect things may look, the cracks are too deep to ignore. It rattles Jeremiah. It shakes Taylor. And for Belly, it deepens the ache that's already forming in her chest. There's also a quiet moment, easy to miss, where Taylor looks at Belly with something close to panic in her eyes. It's as if she realizes too late that her small betrayal, giving Jeremiah that spot on the team, might have triggered something bigger than she intended. She didn't mean to push Belly further into doubt. She thought she was helping. But now, watching her friend slowly unravel under the weight of expectations and confusion, Taylor begins to wonder if she's caused more harm than good. Her silence becomes her punishment, and it's clear that whatever happens next, their friendship might never go back to what it once was. Because this episode isn't just building toward drama, it's building toward a reckoning. The truth is creeping into every space where it's been avoided. The relationships that once felt stable are now trembling, and the girl at the center of it all, Belly, is beginning to see that maybe there is no easy choice, that maybe choosing one path means letting another part of herself fade. And maybe, just maybe, she's not ready to do that yet. As the volleyball match nears its final rounds, everything begins to blur. Cheers from the crowd, the rhythmic thump of the ball, the heat of the sun. But for Belly, the loudest noise is inside her own head. The pressure to win is now the least of her worries. This match has become something else entirely. A confrontation she didn't ask for. A silent conversation with Jeremiah she's not ready to have. A growing awareness that the world she's carefully tried to shape, being engaged, being happy, being certain, is crumbling beneath her feet. With each passing moment, the distance between her and Jeremiah becomes more noticeable. He's playing like he has something to prove, not just to her but to himself. Every save, every dive, every smile that he flashes at the crowd feels a little too forced, a little too desperate. He's trying to hold on to what they have, even though Belly is slowly slipping through his fingers. And when their hands accidentally touch during a tense rally, she flinches. It's subtle, so quick that most people wouldn't even notice. But Jeremiah notices, and that one motion, her pulling away, says more than any words could. For him, it's confirmation of everything he's been afraid of. That even though he got the ring, he didn't get all of her. That even though she said yes, her heart is still searching for something else. That maybe he was never the real answer, just the safer option. And as this realization settles into his chest, Jeremiah starts to crack in quiet ways. He misses a shot he could have easily nailed. He stops calling out plays. His energy shifts. He becomes distracted. The excitement in his eyes dims. And while Belly doesn't say anything, she sees it. She knows it. And the guilt begins to set in, heavy and sharp. Meanwhile, Taylor's inner conflict is reaching its peak. She's standing just beyond the edge of the court, watching everything unfold like a slow-motion train wreck she accidentally helped set in motion. Her decision to fake the injury, something that felt harmless, even helpful, is now the thing that pushed all of this to the surface. She thought she was giving Belly and Jeremiah a chance to connect, to strengthen what they had. But now, as she watches Belly's uncertainty deepen and Jeremiah's heart visibly strain, she realizes she never gave them space. She gave them pressure. And now that pressure is exploding. Stephen, who's been quietly observing from a distance, senses Taylor's tension. Their messy, unresolved dynamic is still in the air, thick and lingering. He wants to talk to her, to clear things up, to maybe confess that he still cares, even if he can't figure out how to say it. But the moment never seems right. Every time he walks toward her, something pulls him back. Fear, ego, maybe even regret. And so he watches, just like her. Two people standing on the sidelines of everyone else's chaos, unsure if they're supposed to jump back in or walk away for good. Back on the court, the match is winding down. The scores are tight. The crowd is on edge. But for Belly, it's no longer about the game. She's struggling to breathe, caught between the image she's trying to maintain and the truth she can't keep ignoring. Every time she looks at Jeremiah, she sees the pain growing behind his smile, and every time she blinks, memories of Conrad slip in, the boat rides, the quiet moments, the things he never said but she always felt. And then, as if summoned by her thoughts, she sees him. Conrad is standing at the edge of the beach. He's not smiling, he's not waving, he's just watching. Maybe he returned from the boat earlier than expected. Maybe he needed to see her, or maybe fate just brought him back in this exact moment. Either way, the sight of him hits her like a wave. And in that split second, she forgets the crowd, forgets the ball, forgets everything except the weight in her chest. She looks away quickly, trying to pretend it didn't affect her. But it did. And Jeremiah sees it too. The energy on the court shifts again. Tension rises. Something unspoken moves between the three of them: Belly, Jeremiah, and Conrad. No words are exchanged, but everything is suddenly different. It's like everyone around them fades out, and only this fragile triangle remains. Belly is standing in the center of it, unsure which direction to turn. Jeremiah is holding on, trying not to break, and Conrad is just there, silent, holding everything he couldn't say before. And then something unexpected happens. The final ball of the match is served. A fast, wild shot aimed straight at Belly. She lunges for it, but her foot slips slightly in the sand. Jeremiah reaches for her instinctively to help, and she stumbles. Not hard, just enough to need a hand. But instead of letting him catch her, she pulls back, steadies herself alone, and finishes the point. The team wins. The crowd erupts. But in that brief moment, something else breaks. Because that one action, refusing to be caught, choosing to stand alone, might be the quiet answer to the question everyone's been too afraid to ask. Is Belly still choosing Jeremiah? Or has she already let go? The camera may linger on their faces, Jeremiah, confused and hurt, Belly, breathless and unsettled, and somewhere in the background, Conrad, unreadable. The applause rings out, but none of them are celebrating, because this match didn't end in victory. It ended in revelation. The fundraiser begins to wind down, but the emotional tension only climbs higher. The match is over, the cheers are fading, and people are starting to leave in groups, laughing, satisfied, sun-kissed. But for Belly, the world has gone eerily quiet. She's standing in the middle of the court, the volleyball still rolling slowly across the sand. Sweat clings to her skin, her breath is short, but it's not the game that has exhausted her. It's everything else. The expectations, the pressure, the noise in her head that won't stop replaying the look on Jeremiah's face, and Conrad's shadowed gaze, and Taylor's silence. Nothing feels clear anymore, and yet something inside her knows that today changed everything. Jeremiah walks toward her, hesitant. He's not smiling. He's not reaching for her hand. For the first time in a long time, he doesn't know what to say. And Belly, for once, doesn't try to fill the silence. She lets it hang there between them like a fog. Because they both know the truth is finally here, and it's loudest in what's left unsaid. Jeremiah wants to ask her if she's still sure, if the ring on her finger still means what it meant the day he gave it to her. But the fear of hearing her answer keeps him frozen. Instead, he just stands there, and Belly finally meets his eyes, not with anger or affection, but with quiet, tired honesty. That's when Taylor finally breaks. All day, she's been holding herself together, telling herself she did the right thing. But as she sees the two people she cares about most standing in this fractured silence, she realizes the ripple effect of her actions. It wasn't just a fake injury. It was a trigger, one that set into motion heartbreak she can't undo. She turns and walks away quickly, brushing tears from her cheeks, disappearing into the crowd. Stephen sees her leave and almost follows, but stops himself. Maybe he knows she needs to be alone, or maybe he just doesn't know how to be what she needs anymore. Meanwhile, Belly slips away too. She doesn't tell Jeremiah where she's going, and he doesn't ask. Her feet move on instinct, away from the court, away from the people, toward the stretch of empty beach just beyond the fundraiser tents. It's quiet there, only the sound of the wind and the crashing waves. She stands at the edge of the water looking down at her hand. The ring still catches the light, but it doesn't shine like it used to. She turns it slowly, watching it spin around her finger, and for the first time, she asks herself something she's been afraid to face. Is she holding on to a promise she no longer believes in? Then, behind her, a familiar presence. She doesn't turn right away, but she knows it's him. The quiet steps, the breath that hitches slightly before he speaks. Conrad. He doesn't say her name. He just stands beside her, close enough to feel, far enough to respect the space she hasn't yet invited him into. The waves lap softly near their feet, the sky above them slowly darkening with the approach of evening. This isn't a dramatic reunion. It's a moment suspended in stillness. And when she finally speaks, it's not a declaration. It's not a question. It's a whisper of truth. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Conrad looks at her, and for once, he doesn't try to fix it. He doesn't rush in with answers or apologies. He just nods, because he understands. Because that same feeling lives inside him too. He's spent so long trying to be what everyone needed, his brother's supporter, his family's protector, Belly's safe distance, that he forgot what it meant to just feel something fully. And now, standing beside her, he finally lets go of the weight he's carried alone. Then, almost without thinking, Belly pulls the ring from her finger. She doesn't drop it. She doesn't throw it. She just holds it in her palm, staring at it as if seeing it clearly for the first time. The future it promised suddenly feels too heavy, too decided, too final for someone who isn't sure who she's becoming yet. It's not rejection, it's reflection, a moment of reclaiming clarity. In the distance, Jeremiah watches. He's not close enough to hear their words, but he sees her standing there with Conrad. He sees the ring leave her finger. And though his heart breaks a little more in that second, he doesn't rush in. Maybe because he already knows. Maybe because he's known for a while now that something was shifting, and that no matter how tightly he held on, some things weren't meant to stay. The episode could end there, with a single quiet shot. Belly alone on the shore, the ring clutched in her hand, waves brushing her ankles as the sun disappears beyond the horizon. Or perhaps Conrad quietly walks away, and Belly remains behind, caught between the weight of her past and the fog of her future. The scene holds, breathless, full of unspoken truths and unmade choices. Because this isn't the end of the triangle, but it might be the moment Belly stops running from herself,